3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! For all acquaint. Hey guys, it's 2025. Are you excited about New Year's? I'm going to tell you, not really. I'm not. I try to live life every day, so it's not like I'm adding something new or changing things or something I got to do better. Yeah, work on your health. That was the same as last year. I tell you why New Year's sometimes, for all of us daily dosers that are tuning in on this first day of 2025, sometimes bring a little doom and gloom to it, a blueness, because you're reflecting back. Everything's reminding you of what you should be, what you should have. And so much of New Year's reminds us of what we lost or what we don't have, or what we need to do new for the next year, where I'm like, I'm just trying to do my best every day. I'm not going to add anything on to it. Let me tell you what I've done with New Year's then. New Year's does give me a time, exactly what we've been doing this week in the Daily Doses. On this Wednesday, it's just a time to reflect. There is a time not on where's Chris, what do I need, what I don't have, how was last year better than the year before, but about an Ebenezer. You know Ebenezer, who it is? I know, you're thinking Scrooge. Nope. Ebenezer in the Bible was a monument or a rock set up as a reminder. And the entire Old Testament is filled with reminders. God really wanted his people to have some things in their life that caused them to stop and reflect on what he has done. Not what we have done, not with where we are, what we have, what he has done. Let me show you how this works. In the very beginning of the book of Joshua, Moses, maybe the greatest leader that any in history has ever seen, has passed away. Joshua is the new guy. Joshua is told, you got to go take Jericho, and it's time for you to take God's people into the promised land. They've been waiting 40 years, wandering in the wilderness, because the last time they were here, they didn't trust God. So stakes are high, people. And for Joshua to get into the promised land, he's got to cross the Jordan River. It's at flood stage. And in Joshua, in chapter 3, God says, here's what I want you to do. Put my Ark of God, that gold box, that covenant, that one that Indiana Jones has been looking for, put that out in front 1,000 yards ahead of the crowd. And when my priests are carrying that box, tell them to step into the Jordan River, which at flood stage. And when the priests take the box and step in, the waters stop upstream. They pile up, and everyone walks across on dry ground. It's this incredible miracle, but it's also God saying, look, when I was with Moses and he brought my people out of slavery, I split the Red Sea. I'm letting people know this same God is with you. Different leaders, but same God. Put your faith in the God, not in the leadership. And put me so far out in front that everyone knows you're following me. So they do it. What an amazing feat. Can you imagine crossing through a river on dry ground, seeing a wall of water piling up on one side? Like, you don't forget moments like that. Or do you? Because at the end of this, in chapter 4, when the whole nation had finished crossing the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, choose 12 men from among the people, one of each tribe, and tell them to take up 12 stones from the middle of the Jordan River, from right where the priest stood, and carry them over with you and put them down at the place where you are to stay tonight. So Joshua called together 12 men. He had appointed them from Israel, one from each tribe, and he said to them, go over before the ark of the Lord your God in the middle of the Jordan. Each of you is to take up a stone on your shoulder, so it's a good-sized rock, according to the number of tribes in Israel, to serve as a sign among you in the future when your children ask you, what do these stones mean? You tell them that the flow of the Jordan was cut off between the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord when it crossed the Jordan. The waters of the Jordan were cut off. These stones are to be a memorial, an Ebenezer to the people of Israel forever. And let me ask you something on this New Year's Day. Do you need that? Do you really need a reminder of that type of miracle? You don't forget that miracle. You don't cross and see the river stop in dry ground, this incredible. You're not going to forget that. But God goes, yeah, you will. You will. See, you're going to get on to 2025. You're going to start looking at 2026. You're going to start looking at what you have, what you don't have, what you need to do, how to better yourself. You're going to forget. So set up a time to simply reflect. And all throughout the Old Testament, even at some of the greatest spots of miracles, God said, set up stones. And you know what? It's not just for you. It's for those that are following you. It's for your spouse. It's for your children. It's for your family, that you have times to reflect and remind yourself of what God has done. Because even the greatest things, the further you get away from them, guess what? You're going to be more focused on you, where you are, where you're not, what you have, what you don't have, and you're going to forget the greatness of God. On this very first day of 2025, may you take 2 minutes somewhere to sit or walk in the backyard or the front yard or around the block, just as an Ebenezer. Just thank God for what he's done in the past year. Not what you're lacking, not what you don't have, just to thank God before we take another step in ourselves for who he is, what he's already done, his son, our salvation, our freedom. grace and mercy. Practice that reflection today. And if you can learn to do that daily, I promise you it'll change 2025. Happy New Year.